returns the expected noisy signal property in the response data, question mark. Yes, the server does return the expected noisy signal property in the response data. The analyze root result. I have this noisy signal somewhere, yes. Turning it to least. The noisy signal is undefined. On the client side, it could be due to the error. I'm gonna say just still testing the stream, monitoring stuff. The full. As a full disclaimer, I do post videos from the stream, and yes, I have this Python code which is in the public domain as well, published on GitHub, that actually removes all the silent bits from the stream, because there can be quite a few. Signal is undefined. On the client side, it could be. So this code cuts it into bits, so all the previous streams, and this one is removing silent bits using sound file, NumPy, MoviePy. It's a thing, there's a Pi everything, librosa, so it's extracting the sound from the long video, and essentially looking at when the sound is below a certain threshold. Does it in chunks. Pretty straightforward. This code was also written by, yeah, the threshold is pretty low, however, to actually check. Let's see if the sound is any better. I have this fan running. I have a bunch of things running at the same time. Sorry for that. So actually I now have a structure. No, the sound's actually okay. So yeah, I can turn the fan back on. Should be fine. To the error in the generate signal. Some sort of weird problem. Yeah, so we're obviously removing things like that. Let me know if there's any questions. I'm more than happy to go. Sort of weird problem. Please do let me know if there's any questions. I'm more than happy to go over the whole project thing. Students, software developers, more than well to make comments. I do recommend going over eventually everything I do ends up on bionicchaos.com. Sorry for the ads, it does have ads. Close it for now. This will be it's one of the earlier tools that actually were working already. It's kind of went down the priority list, but now we bring it back. This tool doesn't currently work. Only have the general structure for the application, and we do have some older videos of how it used to work. So essentially turn all this into GPT prompts, and turning it into a Python application. Yeah, that video should work pretty well. A good explanation of what we are trying to do. I don't know why it's not. The quality is low. Definitely don't need the 4K. I used to do videos in 4K, not realizing that they. So that's what the tool meant. Oh come on, meant to be doing. You meant to be able to select your input waveform, which we already have. So that's what the tool meant to be doing. You meant to be able to select your input waveform, which we already have. Add the noise on top of the signal. Add the noise on top of the signal. And there is a fuzzy logic algorithm behind this that will do detection based on couple. Fuzzy logic algorithm behind this that will do detection based on a couple of points in the signal. Now we're actually changing, considering we're building the whole thing, making a few changes. Where the fuzzy logic algorithm actually looking at two features. We might add more features later. One is symmetry of the signal, and the other one is sharpness. How spiky or not spiky it is. So we're looking at those two. So this is what this prototype does if we manage to get it working again. Which we should be able to. Oops, complaining about that noisy signal. I thought that should be a sentence of 2021 or something, but I forgot my microphone on mute. It's complaining about that noisy signal not being passed to the front end from the server. A Copilot says that the data is being returned from the server. The noisy signal is undefined in the client side. JavaScript could be due to an error in the generate signal or add noise functions. Don't think there's an error in the add noise functions. So just yeah, on the okay, let's do some hello music. Hopefully you like the music. You can try this tool on biochaos.com already. It hasn't been published properly yet, so we'll publish it soon. It's already there. Sorry, this stream gonna be another all over the shop. That's just how we go. That's why it's called chaos. Let's quickly mute. Yeah, this is another thing we're working on, generating music. Generating music. So you have, yeah, those are nicer notes. So you have low, higher notes, volume up and down. This will play longer notes, shorter notes, depending on the distance between the thumb and the index finger. So that seemed to work. And you have another range of nodes for the second hand. Save this quickly. This editing a previous stream. To remember to edit this stuff out. When I edit this stream, it's like a stream within a stream within a stream. How far can you go down the rabbit hole? Just save this quickly and we'll start developing. We actually do have a structure for the stream. I'll go over it in a sec. So if you felt chaos meant to be no structure at all, actually chaos has a lot of structure in it. It's actually the structure of no structure of a mess. Save that quickly. Close. The development feels like it's spelled incorrectly, but no, it's actually correct. And let's put it as another text. Call it struct. And then let's pop this into. Don't fit anything anywhere, would it? Does it fit there? No. Make the font smaller. Yeah, I'll be messing with the font a lot, won't I? Anyway, it doesn't work. Get rid of it. Let's do a quick intro. So as you know, what do we need to show when we're doing the intro? Just put those. So as you know, we are working on biomedical.com. We are working on biomedical.com. There's a bunch of tools on the website that you can go and explore. It's free of charge. I've spent the last year or so developing those. So some of them are more advanced than others. Originally this was all LabView and some MATLAB, and now it's all Python. So we're still converting some of it into Python. The tools at the bottom there do not still work, and we're looking at the fuzzy logic one to turn it into Python code. Check. Let's mute. I meant to be muting this one. Mute site. What was still here though? Should not hear it anymore. Okay, let's jump into development. Have this Flask application that currently looks like that. Oops. Looks like this. It's scrolling through this synthetic EEG that has a synthetic EMG artifacts in it. I don't know if it looks realistic to you or not. We can actually improve on it quite a bit, but the EMG should look fairly good. And we'll start a new Copilot session and a new GPT-4. Start from the index HTML. Say there's more code in the next prompt.
Your HTML structure for the fuzzy logic waveform detector page looks comprehensive and well organized. It includes essential sections like metadata, header, main content with explanations and features of the tool, and necessary scripts. A few points to consider. Meta tags. Good job on the Open Graph meta tags for social sharing. Ensure the image path in OG image is correct and accessible.
Okay.
Style sheets and script.
Yeah, okay, should stop playing canvas elements. Content and accessibility. No, yeah, advertisement. Yeah, we haven't released it yet, so obviously it will not have ads. It probably should not have ads to begin with at all, but we'll leave it as is for now. Let's format document quickly. I don't know why there's so many carriage returns in the JavaScript. We need a comment that Python code is coming next. Code is coming next. Let's pop this in.
Your JavaScript code demonstrates a thorough approach to fetching, displaying, and analyzing EEG data in a web application. Here's a quick review. Data fetching and error handling. The fetch-EEG data function is well structured for asynchronous data fetching with proper error handling. It's good to see checks for response validity and array content. Data visualization. The display EEG data function creates a chart, JS line chart for EEG data visualization. Your approach to dynamically create and destroy charts based on new data is efficient. Artifact risk display. The display artifact risk function is a simple yet effective way to update the UI with calculated risks. The use of toFixed, too, provides a clean output. EEG data analysis. The analyze and display EEG function handles both EEG analysis and the subsequent display of results, including artifact risk. This modular approach is good for maintenance and readability. Membership functions visualization. The plot membership functions function is a sophisticated implementation to visualize fuzzy logic membership functions and activation levels. It's a great educational tool. Scroll event for data segmentation. The scroll event listener on the EEG data container for loading and analyzing data segments is an interactive feature, enhancing user engagement. Global variables. Using global variables like EEG data and window. EEG chart is practical in this context, but be cautious of potential conflicts in a larger application. Responsive design. Your attention to responsiveness in the chart options is commendable. This ensures a better user experience across different devices. Overall, your code is logically structured, handles real-time data effectively, and integrates advanced visualization techniques. This aligns well with the educational and interactive goals of your project. Remember to thoroughly test these features, particularly the dynamic aspects and error handling, to ensure smooth user interactions.
Surprised it's not telling me, considering that
Your
last
Flask app
command
integrates fuzzy logic for EEG data analysis, showcasing a sophisticated approach. Here's a breakdown of key components. Fuzzy variables and sets. You've defined fuzzy variables, amplitude, frequency, artifact _ risk, with membership functions. The use of trapezoidal membership functions, fuzz, trap-mf, is appropriate for this application. Fuzzy rules. The defined rules, Rule 1, Rule 2, Rule 3, are logical and cover different scenarios of amplitude and frequency interaction affecting artifact risk. Control system. The creation of a control system, artifact _ detection _ control, and its simulation, artifact _ detection, are well implemented for the fuzzy logic application. EEG analysis function. The analyze _EEG function effectively uses the fuzzy control system to compute artifact risks. This approach seems robust for real-time data analysis. EEG data processing. Functions like butter _bandpass _filter, generate synthetic _EEG, and preprocess _EEG data provide a comprehensive approach to signal processing. The inclusion of EMG artifact simulation in EEG data is a nice touch for realism. Membership function extraction. Extract _membership _ functions is a thoughtful addition for dynamically retrieving membership function data, useful for visualization on the front end. Data validation. The validate _ and _log data function enhances data integrity by checking the format and type of input data. This is crucial for debugging and ensuring reliable operation. Flask routes. The Flask routes for generating EEG data, analyzing EEG data, and getting membership functions are clearly defined and handle errors appropriately. The use of JSON for data interchange is standard and efficient. Error handling. Exception handling in your routes is good practice. It ensures the server responds gracefully to errors. Logging. The print statements for logging are helpful during development. Consider using a logging framework for production for better control over log levels and destinations. Overall, your code demonstrates a deep understanding of both web development and signal processing principles. The combination of Flask with scientific computing libraries like NumPy, SciPy, and scikit-fuzzy is powerful for this kind of application. Just ensure thorough testing, especially with real EEG data, to validate the performance and accuracy of your analysis algorithms.
Yeah, there are a couple of things to improve. First of all, we would like all the charts and outputs to fit a single window. The membership functions, frequency, and artifact risk the membership functions charts are not displaying anything. Current amplitude, current frequency, and current artifact risk are set to be not available. If you recommend not generating the code yourself, please provide prompts to be used with GitHub Copilot. Copilot. Yep.
To address your concerns about fitting all charts and outputs into a single window and ensuring the membership function charts display correctly with current values for amplitude, frequency, and artifact risk, here are some prompts you could use with GitHub Copilot to generate code or improve your existing code. Fit charts and outputs in a single window. How to create a responsive layout in HTML, CSS to display multiple JS charts in a single view without scrolling. Best practices for organizing multiple interactive charts in a single window using JavaScript and CSS Grid or Flexbox. Ensure membership function charts display correctly. Troubleshooting JS not displaying data for dynamically updated charts. Code example to refresh JS canvas with new data in real time. JavaScript function to update HTML elements with current values of amplitude, frequency, and artifact risk from JSON response. How to dynamically update text content in a web page based on AJAX request response in Flask and JavaScript. Best practices for binding real-time data to JS line charts in a Flask web application.
Okay. I want the more specific stuff to my code. You have the code above, can you double check the code? And I've provide instructions as to how to update it or prompts for GitHub Copilot. Yep.
Let's address the specific issues you're facing with your existing code and provide targeted advice or prompts for GitHub Copilot. Fit charts and outputs in a single window. You'll need to adjust your CSS to ensure all charts and outputs are visible in a single window without scrolling. For this, you might need to use a responsive layout with CSS Grid or Flexbox. Here's a specific prompt for Copilot. Display membership function charts correctly. The issue could be related to how you're plotting data in these charts or how the data is being passed to them. Ensure that the membership function data is correctly retrieved and formatted. Use this prompt. Debug and fix JS not displaying data in a Flask application when dynamically updating charts with fetch JSON data. Update current values for amplitude, frequency, and artifact risk. This could be an issue with how you're setting these values in your JavaScript. You need a function that takes the values from your analysis and updates the corresponding HTML elements. Here's a suitable prompt. JavaScript function to update HTML content with current values of amplitude, frequency, and artifact risk from JSON response in a Flask web application. General chart visualization and data binding. Since you're working with real-time data, you need efficient and effective chart updates. This might involve optimizing the way you're handling data updates in JS. Try this prompt. Optimize JS performance in a Flask application when updating charts with new datasets in real time. Remember to provide GitHub Copilot with as much context as possible from your existing code to get the most relevant solutions. It's also important to test any generated code thoroughly to ensure it integrates well with your application and meets your specific requirements.
Yeah, we're getting some code. Fetch EG data. What changes were made? I do not know. So it's an async function. Const response, generate the EG response, okay. Otherwise throw an error. Const await response JSON fetched. EG, that's okay. Okay, there's no changes. Analyze and display. Fetch request and also make sure the server is running and endpoints correctly processed. Do I have? No, I have them separate at the moment. Display EG data. I do have it. EG data response, okay. Const result. Plotting result. Throw new error. Membership data. Display those, okay. And then in EG scroll container event listener. Those are the same. They're just printing some stuff that won't do it, would it? That won't do it. Let's clear this quickly. Something isn't right. Let's. Oh, sorry, we're logging. Meant to be logging. That's in JavaScript. We have the response. Object. Yeah, there's too many nested arrays and stuff. Okay, that's not cool. So these arrays, do they even make sense? So we have amplitude, artifact risk, and frequency, and for each we have this arrays for low, a medium, high. Then we have the artifact risk nested again, I don't know why. So we have EG response and membership data. Okay, we have all that stuff. And we need to fix the code, so it actually takes it. Actually plots it correctly. So this will be, so the backend is sending data, okay. The JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript, what did it say? The data structure of the membership data seems to be different, yeah, from the plot membership function. The function expects an array where each subarray contains two numbers. Yeah, that's not the case. However, the actual data is an array of object. Yes, that's correct. So in analyze and display, async function. Yeah, we have membership data, amplitude, frequency, artifact risk. Yeah, so that looks legit. So we're replacing all that. Right, we have something displayed, but it's weird. Just get a one line, what? I expected. Just one line. No, there should be more to it. Membership functions. I think they're trapezoid at the moment, so they should look like trapezoid stuff. Get any errors? No errors. The charts now displaying 2.0 and 1. However, I expect the whole function to be displayed. Can you? Yeah. I'm used to saying yep when finishing before sending. What? Yeah, that didn't get it, did it? Now, how do I work? I still want the GPT-4 on the website to be involved. Do I just don't remember what was changed? Do I just send the whole code? We were working mainly on the GPT. Updated the code. The charts are displaying something, but it's not correct. It's just displaying 0 and 1. How to correct? Yep. Yeah, it seems like the speech to text in
It seems like your issue might be with how
better.
the data is being processed and displayed in the membership function charts. The charts showing only 0 and 1 could indicate that the mapping of current values to the activation levels is not working as expected. Let's address this. Check data format and values, ensu. Ensure the data format returned from get_membership_functions is correctly structured and matches what your plot membership functions function expects.
Okay. Yeah, can we do those, use those as prompts for GitHub? This is for JavaScript, I would imagine. It's correctly structured matches what your plot membership function. So you can modify the analyze and display G. Have the const membership data. Validating the structure. We'll just follow that. Catch an error. Yeah, it just checks if they're arrays. This should be arrays. This is in JavaScript. Control F5. Yeah, they are arrays. It's weird. Show the data format.
Verify the current values object in plot membership functions is being populated with the correct data. It seems these values should represent the current state of your EEG analysis, but they might be incorrectly calculated or passed.
Can try this in plot membership function. To verify the current values. Modify the function to include this logging, just logging more stuff. We already have quite a bit of logging, don't we? Yeah, we are logging quite a bit. Current values. current values. Someone is banging outside, it's super distracting. Analyzing display G const membership data. We are logging membership data. Okay, it's these 2 lines. I don't understand why it just don't give me the 2 lines. Current values. Current values. Prototype. Values that some of them are undefined. That must be the problem. Suggests that the result on return does not have amplitude and frequency properties. Nice JSON. Yeah, okay, that just give me an error. All these errors. Okay, I get the error now, what? Um, do I want to do that? To be safe. Can validate the format of the data sent to analyze the Flask application, Flask app root. Do we need to do that? We already have Flask JSON file. They analyze each sheet down the bottom. Yeah, it's giving me it fast as if it haven't seen the Python code. It's a bit odd. But no, the backend is working okay. I don't know, it's also Copilot seem to showing that function pointing the artifactories. Yeah, it's like it's as if the responses are not related to the previous prompt. Look in the previous prompts for the context. Still taking the current data. It's doing rubbish. It's doing rubbish. Get back to ChatGPT on the website. We have the response. How to fix this error? Also, please consider the Python code provided earlier. Yep. And this one is talking as well.
The error message, amplitude or frequency data is missing in the response. In your JavaScript function, analyze and display EEG suggests a mismatch between the expected data format from the Flask server and what is actually being received in the response. To resolve this issue, let's consider both the JavaScript and Python, Flask, sides of your application. JavaScript side. Check if result, amplitude and result, frequency are correctly structured in the response from your Flask server. You may need to adjust the destructuring or access method depending on the response structure. Ensure that the server is indeed sending these data points. The error might be due to the absence of these fields in the JSON response. Python, Flask, side. Revisit the Flask route handling the analyze_eg request. Ensure that the response includes the amplitude and frequency fields. If these fields are being calculated or derived within the Flask route, confirm that the calculation is happening correctly and that these fields are not omitted from the final JSON response. Given your earlier Python code, the relevant section is likely within the analyze_eg_root function. Here's what you need to check. Ensure that preprocess_eg_data is returning amplitude and average_frequency correctly. Make sure that these values are included in the JSON response of the analyze_eg route. Here's a prompt for GitHub Copilot to address this issue in your Python Flask application. Modify Flask route, analyze_eg to ensure it includes amplitude and frequency in the JSON response after analyzing EEG data. Ensure the response structure matches the expected format in the corresponding JavaScript fetch function. By aligning the data format and ensuring the completeness of the response from your Flask server, you should be able to resolve the error and have your JavaScript function process the data correctly.
Alright, so that does make sense. I'm not just saying it because ChatGPT said so. Yeah, my level of trust is like GPT 3.5, then a GitHub Copilot, and then GPT 4 is up there. So the prompt was for the Flask route. Yes, that's for Python code. Yeah, we haven't modified that. So we're giving it the whole 200 lines of code. It's modifying. Can update the analyze function to include this value. So they're not included at the moment, are they? That's why we were not getting much on the HTML page. So we have analyze EG, quest JSON, printing, still printing a lot, turn. Right, so we can replace all that, can we? Still getting the error. The amplitude is there. All the data is there. All the data seems to be there. But we are not getting anywhere. Question is, do we need to modify JavaScript based on the previous modifications, the latest adjustments? Yep. Yep. Don't need to say yep, that's for ChatGPT website.
Based on the error you're experiencing, amplitude or frequency data is missing in the response, and the latest adjustments to your JavaScript and Python code, it seems the modifications are needed primarily on the Python, Flask, side, specifically in the analyze_eg route. Here's what you should consider. Python, Flask, side, check. Check the analyze_eeg_root function in your Flask app. This function should process the EEG data and return a JSON response that includes both amplitude and frequency values. It's possible these values are either not being calculated correctly or not being included in the response. Confirm that the preprocess_eeg_data function is returning the amplitude and frequency correctly, and these are being passed in the response. JavaScript side. Once you ensure the Python side is sending the correct data, verify that your JavaScript function analyze and display EEG correctly receives and processes these values. This function should align with the data structure of the JSON response from the server. Given these points, it's likely that you need to modify the Flask route to correctly include the amplitude and frequency in the JSON response. Here's a specific task to focus on in your Python code. Ensure JSON response completeness. Modify the analyze_eeg route in your Flask application to ensure that the JSON response includes amplitude and frequency data. This might involve checking the output of preprocess_eeg_data and adjusting how the response is constructed. By making these adjustments, you should be able to align the data sent from the server with the expectations of your JavaScript code, resolving the error.
Is that the current values or? Well, that's the same. That I haven't changed here. Is this the whole function? Yes. Getting the same error. Sure. Check data. Come on. It's always this little problems, isn't it? That preventing us from progressing. Display artifact risk. Just making sure it's a number before calling to fixed. This modification will prevent the type error from occurring. Okay, that sounds promising. Right, to get the current values, frequency, amplitude. I think it's just showing me 0 to 1. They're all the same. And it's clear. Clear this for a sec. Yeah, the membership data is not showing correctly. There used to be a time where ChatGPT would just find the problems and fix the code. Const result. If result amplitude undefined, average undefined. Why? Why is it? What? Why? Okay, now I'm not getting that there anymore. I'm getting the 0.85. The membership functions are just 0. The membership functions are still not displaying anything useful. Yeah, the plot data. Oh, come on. Plot data, canvas data, current value. Data map. Membership. Well, how about the activation level? Which might be related to how the membership function is being plotted. Plotted a function to create chart for each membership function. 2 does set membership function activation level. The activation level is calculated as the membership value. It's greater than or equal to the current value, and 0 otherwise. The new version plots value as a line at y matches the current value. Pretty sure that's not what the problem is. Give it a quick go. No, why does this yeah, this weird thing. What's that all about? Well, that didn't work. Test this code.
Based on the JavaScript code you've provided and the identified issue, let's focus on a couple of key points. Verify response structure from Flask. Ensure that the Flask root, analyze_eg, is indeed returning a response that includes amplitude, average_frequency, and artifact_risk. The problem seems to lie in the fact that your JavaScript code expects amplitude and average_frequency fields in the response, but they might not be present or are named differently. Update Python Flask code. In your Python Flask root, analyze_eg, make sure to include the amplitude and average_frequency in the JSON response. The response should match the structure your JavaScript code expects. Correct JavaScript data access. In the JavaScript function analyze and display EEG, the lines where you access result, amplitude and result, average_frequency should match the JSON structure sent by the Flask server. If the Flask server sends these values nested within another object or under different names, you'll need to update the JavaScript code to access them correctly. Debugging. Consider adding more detailed logging in both your Flask root and JavaScript function to debug the exact structure of the data being sent and received. This can help identify where the mismatch is occurring. Check for naming consistency. Ensure that the names of the fields, amplitude, average_frequency, etc., are consistent across both your Flask server and JavaScript code. Any mismatch in naming could cause the issue you're experiencing. For the Python Flask part, you might need to adjust your analyze_eg root to ensure the correct data is being sent. Here's a potential prompt for GitHub Copilot, tailored to your Flask application. Adjust Flask root, analyze_eg to include amplitude and average_frequency in the JSON response, ensuring compatibility with the existing JavaScript fetch and processing function. By aligning the data structure between your Flask backend and JavaScript frontend, you should resolve the issue of missing amplitude or frequency data in the response.
Why GPT cannot just keep developing by itself? Can you just keep developing the app by yourself? Yep.
Certainly. I can guide you through the development process, providing advice, suggestions, and solutions to issues you encounter along the way. However, please note that I can't write the entire application for you, but I'm here to assist with specific questions, troubleshoot problems, and offer insights and best practices. Feel free to share any specific challenges you're facing or aspects of the app you'd like guidance on, and I'll do my best to assist you. Whether it's about refining your existing code, implementing new features, optimizing performance, or anything else related to your project, just let me know how I can help.
Will really give me a timeout. Will you give me a time? When will my tokens time out?
Your tokens, assuming you're referring to the session tokens used for API calls or server-side authentication, typically have an expiration time defined by the server or the API provider. This timeout can vary.
Okay. No, I meant for this ChatGPT session.
In a ChatGPT session like this one, there isn't a fixed timeout for the conversation in the traditional sense. The session remains active as long as you're engaging with it. However, if there's a prolonged period of inactivity, the session may end, requiring you to start a new session if you return later. If you need to leave and come back, you may find that the conversation has reset, especially if there's been a significant gap in time. However, for short breaks or brief periods of inactivity, the session should remain active, and you can continue where you left off. It's always a good idea to bookmark or note down any important information from the session, just in case you need to refer back to it after a break.
I meant the limit of 40 messages per 3 hours. Yep.
Ah, I see what you're referring to now. Yes, there is a limit of 40 messages per user for every 3-hour period. This limit is in place to ensure fair usage and accessibility for all users. Here's what this means for your current session. Once you reach 40 messages, you won't be able to send more messages until 3 hours have passed since your first message in this window. This limit includes both your messages and my responses. Each exchange, your message and the corresponding response from me, counts as one message towards this limit. If you're planning to work on a project or have a lengthy discussion, it might be helpful to structure your questions or topics to make the most out of each message. Remember, detailed and specific questions often lead to more comprehensive and useful responses. If you reach the limit and still have more to discuss, you can return after the 3-hour window to continue the conversation.
So when will the current conversation time out? What's my current quota? Is there some sort of bar chart which I can see that tells me how many messages I'm going for now? What's my current message rate? Yep.
As of now, there isn't a feature within this ChatGPT interface that displays a bar chart or a visual indicator of your current message quota or how many messages you have left in your 3-hour window. The system is designed to notify you when you're close to reaching the message limit. To manage your quota effectively, consider the following. Plan your questions or prompts to be as detailed and comprehensive as possible, reducing the need for follow-up clarifications. Consolidate multiple questions into a single message when feasible. Keep track of your message count if you're working on a project that requires extensive interaction. Unfortunately, I don't have access to the current count of messages you've used in this session. You'll receive a notification when you're approaching the limit. For now, the best approach is to continue with your queries and discussions, and the system will alert you as you near the quota.
I might have to finish this next time. I'll see you later.